9 things you should never receive from anyone. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for gathering here today. Each one of you is a shining light in this world filled with potential and boundless possibilities. But as we navigate through life, we sometimes encounter things that dim our light. Today, I want to talk to you about 9 things you should never receive from anyone. Unconditional love, while love is essential, it must begin with you. You have to nurture your self-love before anyone else can. Don't allow someone to give you love that comes with conditions or strings attached. Know your worth and set the standard for how you want to be treated. Comparison in this world of social media highlights, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparison. But remember, no one's journey is the same. You are unique with your own gifts and dreams. Embrace your individuality and celebrate your achievements, no matter how small. Fear can be paralyzing. It can stop you from pursuing your dreams and silencing your voice. Don't accept fear from others. Instead, embrace courage. Step into your greatness and remember that the only limits that exist are the ones we create for ourselves. Judgment, there will always be critics, but their judgment does not define you. Accept only constructive feedback that helps you grow. Remember, you are not the opinions of others. You are the author of your own story. Unsolicited advice, while advice can be valuable, be discerning about what you accept. Each person has their own journey, and only you know what's best for yourself. Trust your instincts and don't feel obligated to follow advice that doesn't resonate with your truth. Mediocrity life is too short to settle for mediocrity. You were born to soar, to achieve, and to make an impact. Don't allow anyone to tell you that your dreams are too big or unrealistic. Strive for excellence and pursue your passions with relentless determination. Unconditional love. Unconditional love is not about tolerating poor treatment or sacrificing our own needs for the sake of others. It's about embracing who we are, flaws and all, and recognizing that our worth is inherent and not contingent upon someone else's approval. Imagine waking up every day and affirming to yourself, I am enough, I am worthy of love. Just as I am, this internal dialogue creates a foundation upon which healthy relationships can flourish. In a world that constantly bombards us with messages about who we should be, how we should look, and what we should achieve, it can be all too easy to lose sight of our true selves. The quest for external validation can lead us to accept love that is conditional, love that demands we change, adapt, or mold ourselves into something we are not. When we allow that kind of love into our lives, we compromise our authenticity and diminish our self-worth. Think about the times when you've given your love to someone else without first loving yourself. It's like trying to pour from an empty cup. Eventually, you find yourself drained and unfulfilled. Unconditional love for yourself means recognizing your own needs and desires, cherishing your dreams, and giving yourself permission to shine brightly. This self-love is not a selfish act, it's an essential one. It enables you to set healthy boundaries, protect your heart, and foster relationships that are based on mutual respect and admiration. When you love yourself unconditionally, you send out a powerful signal to the universe that you will not settle for anything less than the love you deserve. You become a magnet for relationships that uplift, inspire, and nurture you. Now, let's take a moment to visualize what unconditional love looks like in action. Picture a world where everyone, including yourself, embraces their unique qualities and imperfections. Imagine looking in the mirror and celebrating every aspect of yourself, your kindness, your creativity, your strength, and yes, even your vulnerabilities. Unconditional love also means forgiving yourself for past mistakes, letting go of shame and guilt, and choosing to move forward with grace. It's about recognizing that everyone, including you, is a work in progress. Instead of holding on to resentment or disappointment, you learn to cultivate compassion, both for yourself and for others. When you love yourself unconditionally, you create a safe space where you can explore your passions and dreams without fear of judgment or failure. You begin to chase after what truly lights you up, pursuing your goals with enthusiasm and an open heart. And as you foster this deep love for yourself, something beautiful begins to happen. You'll find that you attract people into your life who mirror this love back to you. You become surrounded by a tribe of individuals who uplift you, celebrate your victories, and support you in your journey. You no longer seek approval or validation. Instead, you recognize that you are worthy simply because you exist. In this space of unconditional love, you become more resilient to life's challenges. You learn to navigate setbacks with grace, knowing that they do not define you. You realize that true love is not contingent upon perfection, but rather rooted in acceptance. You become your own biggest supporter, your own best friend, and in doing so, you unlock the door to limitless potential. As we delve deeper into the essence of unconditional love, let's reflect on how we can practice it in our daily lives. Start by nurturing a positive inner dialogue. Challenge negative thoughts that creep in and replace them with affirmations of love and acceptance. Every time you feel a wave of self-doubt, remind yourself of your strengths and accomplishments. And remember, the journey of self-love is not always easy. It requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to confront the shadows within. But as you embark on this journey, you'll discover a profound sense of freedom that comes from loving yourself wholeheartedly. This love becomes your guiding light, illuminating the path to authentic connections and fulfilling experiences. Let this be your reminder you are deserving of unconditional love, not just from others, but primarily from yourself. Embrace the beautiful, imperfect being that you are and watch how your life transforms in the most miraculous ways. Negative energy. Now, let's dive into the concept of negative energy. This is something we encounter every day, often without even realizing it. Negative energy can manifest in various forms, be it a toxic relationship, a stressful work environment, or even the incessant chatter of our own minds. The key to thriving in life is learning how to recognize, address, and ultimately reject negative energy from our lives. Picture this: you walk into a room filled with vibrant, uplifting energy, and immediately you feel a sense of warmth and comfort. Now, think about the opposite: stepping into a space where the air feels heavy, the conversations are laced with complaints, and you can practically feel the weight of negativity bearing down on you. How does that make you feel? Often it drains us, saps our motivation, and clouds our minds with doubt and fear. Negative energy can come from those around us: friends, family, coworkers, anyone we interact with on a regular basis. Sometimes people carry their own burdens and inadvertently project that onto us. It's crucial to recognize when these energies seep into our lives. We have to become aware of how they affect our mood, our mindset, and ultimately our ability to thrive. But it's not just external sources we need to be mindful of. Our own thoughts can be some of the most pervasive sources of negative energy. The self-critic that whispers you're not enough or you'll never achieve your dreams can be a relentless force. This internal dialogue can create a cycle of negativity that keeps us trapped in a cycle of self-doubt. So how do we combat this negative energy? First, we must set boundaries. This means being clear about what we will and will not accept in our lives. It's okay to say no to relationships that drain us, to distance ourselves from those who constantly criticize or belittle us. In fact, it's necessary. You deserve to surround yourself with individuals who uplift you, who celebrate your successes, and who encourage your growth. Setting boundaries also applies to the content we consume. In today's world, we are bombarded with news, social media, and messages that can be overwhelmingly negative. Be mindful of what you expose yourself to. curate your social media feed, limit your intake of news that brings you down, and seek out content that inspires and empowers you. Next, we must engage in practices that replenish our energy and restore our spirit. This can include mindfulness techniques such as meditation or yoga, which help clear our minds and bring us back to the present moment. Take time for yourself, whether it's a walk in nature, reading a good book, or enjoying a warm cup of tea. Allow yourself moments of solitude where you can recharge and reconnect with your inner self. Consider also the power of gratitude. Cultivating a practice of gratitude can be transformative. When we focus on what we're thankful for, we shift our energy from what's lacking to what's abundant. Each day, take a moment to reflect on the positive aspects of your life, however small they may seem. This simple shift in perspective can create a ripple effect, enhancing our overall energy and well-being. In addition, surround yourself with positive influences. Seek out those who radiate love, joy, and optimism. Connect with individuals who share your passions and uplift your spirit. The energy of those around you can be contagious, and when you're in a supportive environment, you are empowered to be your best self. As we explore the impact of negative energy, let's also acknowledge that it's okay to feel down sometimes. Life has its ups and downs, and we are human beings with real emotions. It's vital to honor those feelings without judgment. Instead of pushing them aside, acknowledge them, and then gently guide yourself back to a place of positivity and light. Remember, even the strongest among us face moments of darkness, and it's in those moments that we learn the most about ourselves. In the journey of rejecting negative energy, you'll inevitably encounter challenges. You may face resistance from those around you when you start to assert your boundaries. People might not understand why you're distancing yourself from certain relationships or practices. But it's important to remember that your well-being must always come first. The moment you begin to prioritize your mental and emotional health, you're not just benefiting yourself, you're also creating a ripple effect that can positively impact those around you. As you embrace this journey of rejecting negative energy, let it empower you to rise above the noise. The more you cultivate positivity in your life, the more resilient you become. You'll find that your spirit is unshakable, your dreams feel attainable, and your heart is open to the beauty of life. Let's take a moment to visualize what a life free from negative energy looks like. Imagine waking up every morning filled with enthusiasm and joy, ready to embrace the day ahead. Envision yourself surrounded by a community of like-minded individuals who uplift and inspire you. Picture yourself pursuing your passions without fear, knowing that you have the power to create the life you desire. This vision can become your reality. It requires intention, courage, and a commitment to yourself. By actively rejecting negative energy and surrounding yourself with love, positivity, and inspiration, you will create a life that reflects your true essence. And remember, the journey to a life filled with positive energy begins within. As you work to eliminate negativity, you create space for light, love, and abundance. Trust that as you do this work, you are not only transforming your own life, but also the lives of those around you. Your energy is a gift, and when you share it authentically, you create a powerful impact in the world. So as you leave here today, carry this message with you. Choose positivity, reject negativity, and let your light shine brightly. Comparison. Now, let's talk about the insidious trap of comparison. This is something we all struggle with, whether we're aware of it or not. In a world that constantly bombards us with images of success, perfection, and the ideal life, It's easy to fall into the habit of measuring ourselves against others. But here's the truth: comparison is the thief of joy, and it can steal away our sense of self-worth, confidence, and happiness if we let it. Think for a moment about the last time you found yourself scrolling through social media, admiring someone else's life. Maybe it was a friend who just got a promotion, or an influencer who seems to have the perfect body, the perfect relationship, and the perfect relationship, and the perfect home. As you scroll, a familiar feeling washes over you, one of inadequacy, self-doubt, and envy. You start to wonder, why can't I have that? What am I doing wrong? This kind of thinking is all too common, but it's crucial to remember that what we see online is often a curated version of reality. People share their highlight reels, their successes and their joys, while the struggles, challenges, and imperfections often remain hidden behind the scenes. You don't see the late nights, the failures, or the heartaches that accompany those beautifully filtered moments. Comparison can also extend beyond social media. It can creep into our everyday interactions, whether at work, at home, or even within our families. You might find yourself comparing your achievements to those of your colleagues, or feeling like you're falling short when you see a sibling thriving in their career. But I want you to remember this: your journey is uniquely yours. No one else can walk your path, and no one else has your experiences, your struggles, or your triumphs. When we engage in comparison, we often lose sight of our own journey and the incredible things we have accomplished. Each of us has our own gifts, our own strengths, and our own timeline. It's essential to celebrate our unique paths rather than pitting ourselves against others. One powerful way to combat the urge to compare is to cultivate gratitude. Instead of focusing on what others have, shift your perspective to what you are grateful for in your own life. Take a moment to reflect on your achievements, the love you have, and the experiences that have shaped you into the person you are today. When you ground yourself in gratitude, it becomes much harder to feel inadequate or envious. Let's also talk about self-compassion. When you find yourself caught in the web of comparison, practice kindness towards yourself. Acknowledge your feelings of self-doubt, but don't let them define you. Remind yourself that you are doing your best, and that's enough. We are all imperfect beings navigating this complex world, and it's okay to honor your own struggles while cheering on the successes of others. Now, consider the possibility that instead of comparing ourselves to others, we can inspire ourselves by learning from them. When you see someone achieving their dreams, ask yourself, what can I learn from their journey? Shift the narrative from one of competition to one of inspiration. This simple mindset change can empower you to pursue your own goals with renewed passion and determination. As we move forward, let's also remember the power of community. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who celebrate your uniqueness, and who encourage you to pursue your dreams. When you're in a supportive environment, it becomes much easier to stay focused on your path, rather than feeling the need to compare. These connections can help you recognize that we're all in this together, each navigating our own challenges and triumphs. And let's not forget the importance of self-reflection. Take time to understand your values, your passions, and what truly matters to you. When you are clear about your own vision for your life, it becomes easier to ignore the distractions of comparison. You'll find that your journey is not about measuring up to anyone else, but rather about becoming the best version of yourself. As you embark on this journey of self-discovery, I encourage you to define your own success. What does success look like for you? It may not align with societal expectations or the achievements of others, and that's perfectly okay. Embrace your definition of success, and remember that it's a deeply personal journey that deserves your attention and celebration. In moments when you find yourself slipping back into the comparison trap, take a deep breath and remind yourself you are enough. You are enough. You are worthy of love, happiness, and success just as you are. Embrace your unique gifts and talents and allow them to shine brightly in the world. As we continue to navigate life, let's commit to lifting each other up instead of tearing each other down. Let's create a culture of support, encouragement, and empowerment. Celebrate the successes of others while also celebrating your own victories, no matter how small they may seem. When you choose to rise above comparison, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities. You'll discover a newfound sense of freedom to pursue your dreams without the weight of others' expectations holding you back. Remember, life is not a competition, it's a beautiful journey filled with opportunities to learn, grow, and connect. So as you leave here today, carry this message with you: celebrate your journey, honor your unique path, and let go of the need to compare. Embrace the beautiful, imperfect, and extraordinary person that you are, and remember that your worth is not determined by anyone else's journey, but by the love and passion you bring to your own. Fear. Now let's delve into the complex and often paralyzing emotion of fear. Fear is something we all experience at various points in our lives. It can be a whisper in the back of our minds or a roaring voice that drowns out our dreams and aspirations. But here's the truth: fear is not inherently bad. In fact, it can serve a purpose. However, it becomes a problem when it holds us back from living our fullest lives. Fear can manifest in countless ways: fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown, or even fear of success. It can be so powerful that it stops us in our tracks, convincing us to play it safe rather than taking the bold steps necessary to pursue our passions. Think about it. How many opportunities have you let slip away because fear told you it wasn't possible? How many dreams have you shelved because you were worried about what others might think? Fear thrives on uncertainty. It feeds on our doubts and insecurities, often painting a picture of what might happen if we take a leap of faith. But the truth is, fear often exaggerates the risks, creating scenarios in our minds that are far worse than reality. We allow it to dictate our decisions, holding us hostage in a comfort zone that feels safe but ultimately limits our potential. So how do we confront fear? First and foremost, we must acknowledge it. Denying our fears only gives them more power. Instead, let's bring them into the light. When you feel fear creeping in, pause for a moment and ask yourself, what am I truly afraid of? Is it the fear of failure? The fear of judgment? The fear of not being good enough? By identifying the source of your fear, you begin to take away its power. Once you've named it, it's time to face it. This doesn't mean you have to dive headfirst into the deep end. Start small. Take baby steps toward whatever it is you're afraid of. If you're afraid of public speaking, perhaps start by speaking in front of a small group of friends. If you're fearful of starting a new business, take the time to research, plan, and network before making the leap. Each small step you take chips away at the fear, showing you that you are capable of overcoming it. Surrounding yourself with a support system can also be incredibly empowering. When you have people who believe in you, who encourage you to pursue your dreams, and who remind you of your strength, it becomes easier to push through fear. Seek out mentors, friends, or communities that uplift you and remind you of your potential. Additionally, embrace the idea of failure as a stepping stone rather than a stopping point. So often we fear failure because we see it as a final verdict on our abilities. But what if we reframe failure as an essential part of the journey? Each setback is an opportunity to learn, grow, and adapt. When you embrace the idea that failure is simply a lesson in disguise, you'll find that fear begins to lose its grip on you. Let's also not underestimate the power of visualization. When fear strikes, take a moment to visualize the outcome you desire. Imagine yourself overcoming obstacles and achieving your goals. Picture the joy, the relief, and the pride you will feel. By creating a vivid mental image of success, you shift your focus from fear to possibility. paving the way for positive action. And remember, it's perfectly okay to seek help when facing your fears. Therapy, coaching, or even talking to a trusted friend can provide valuable perspectives and tools to navigate your fears. There's no shame in asking for support sometimes. Sharing our fears aloud diminishes their power and allows us to see them in a new light. As we navigate through life, we will inevitably encounter fear at various stages, whether it's embarking on a new career, moving to a new city, or pursuing a dream that feels just out of reach. Fear will always be a companion. But instead of allowing it to paralyze us, let's choose to use it as a catalyst for growth and transformation. Consider the moments in your life when you faced fear and come out stronger on the other side. What did you learn? How did you grow? These moments of triumph, no matter how small, can serve as powerful reminders of your resilience. Keep those memories close. They can provide the motivation you need when fear starts to rear its head again. As you continue to embrace this journey of overcoming fear, let it guide you toward authenticity. Understand that every time you choose to step outside your comfort zone, you are living a life that is true to yourself. You are honoring your dreams and desires, and that is a beautiful thing. Let's not forget the power of gratitude either. When fear threatens to take hold, take a moment to reflect on what you're grateful for. Shift your focus from what you're afraid of to what you have. This simple practice can provide perspective and help calm your mind, making it easier to confront the fears that arise. As we move forward, I want you to hold on to this truth: you are stronger than your fears. Each time you confront them, you are taking a powerful step toward a life filled with purpose, passion, and authenticity. You are capable of amazing things, and fear is simply a part of the journey, not the destination. So, as you leave here today, remember that fear does not have to control your life. Embrace it, acknowledge it, and then rise above it. Choose courage over comfort, and let your dreams guide you forward. You have the power to create a life that is rich, fulfilling, and undeniably yours. Your journey is waiting. Don't let fear hold you back from the greatness that lies ahead. Judgment. Now, let's take a moment to discuss judgment. This is a powerful force that can shape our lives in profound ways, often without us even realizing it. We face judgment every day, both from ourselves and from others. It can come in the form of harsh words, critical looks, or even unspoken thoughts. And while judgment can sometimes serve as a motivator, it often acts as a barrier that prevents us from living authentically and fully. We live in a society that thrives on judgment. We're bombarded with messages about how we should look, how we should act, and how we should live our lives. This constant scrutiny can create a sense of pressure that is overwhelming. The truth is, we can become so consumed by the opinions of others that we lose sight of our true selves. We start to wear masks to fit in, to please others, and to seek validation, all while neglecting our own desires and dreams. Judgment can be particularly harsh when it comes from within. How many times have you looked in the mirror and been critical of what you see? How often do you replay moments of your past and judge your decisions harshly? This internal critic can be relentless, often leading to a cycle of self-doubt and insecurity. But here's the thing: we are all human, and we are all flawed. Embracing our imperfections is an essential part of our journey. So how do we combat judgment both from others and ourselves? The first step is to cultivate self-compassion. Instead of being your own worst critic, become your biggest supporter. When you catch yourself at a moment of self-judgment, pause and ask, would I say this to a friend? More often than not, the answer is no. So why should you say it to yourself? Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would extend to others. It's also vital to recognize that judgment often stems from fear and insecurity in others. When someone is quick to judge, it often reflects their own struggles or dissatisfaction. Instead of taking their judgments to heart, try to see it as a reflection of their journey, not yours. Their words do not define you, they reveal more about them than they do about you. Moreover, let's take a moment to examine our own tendencies to judge others. It's easy to slip into that mindset, especially when we are struggling with our insecurities. But remember, every time we judge someone else, we are only reinforcing the same cycle of judgment we wish to escape. Instead, let's commit to practicing empathy. When we encounter someone whose choices we don't understand, let's strive to understand their perspective instead of judging their journey. And let's talk about vulnerability. When we open ourselves up to the world, we may fear judgment, but we also create deeper connections. Being vulnerable allows us to share our true selves, to express our thoughts and feelings honestly, and to foster genuine relationships. This authenticity can disarm judgment and create an atmosphere of trust and understanding. As you navigate the world, I encourage you to ask yourself, what judgments am I holding on to? Are they serving you? Are they helping you grow, or are they keeping you small? Let go of judgments that don't align with who you are or who you aspire to be. Instead, choose to focus on your own growth, your own journey, and your own path. And let's not forget the power of gratitude in combating judgment. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you shift your energy from criticism to appreciation. Take time each day to reflect on the positives in your life, the love you have, the opportunities you've embraced, and the lessons you've learned. This shift in perspective can help dissolve the judgments that cloud our minds and hearts. As we explore the concept of judgment, let's remember that life is not about perfection, it's about progress. Each of us is on our own unique journey with its own set of challenges and triumphs. Embrace the idea that your path is valid, regardless of how it compares to anyone else's. Your story is yours to write, and no one can take that away from you. And as you move forward, I urge you to let go of the need for external validation. The world will always have opinions, but at the end of the day, the only opinion that truly matters is your own. Embrace who you are, trust your instincts, and honor your journey. When we choose to live authentically and embrace our uniqueness, we create a ripple effect. Your courage to be yourself can inspire others to do the same. Let's cultivate a culture of acceptance where we uplift one another instead of tearing each other down. As we wrap up this discussion on judgment, I want you to hold on to this truth: you are worthy of love, acceptance, and understanding just as you are. Your journey is valid and your voice deserves to be heard. When you choose to embrace your authentic self, you not only break free from the chains of judgment, but also empower others to do the same. So as you leave here today, remember that you have the power to choose kindness over judgment, both towards yourself and others. Embrace your uniqueness, celebrate your journey, and let your light shine brightly in the world. Think about it. How many times have you been in a conversation where someone jumped in with their opinions, suggestions, or solutions, even when you hadn't asked for their input? It can be jarring, can't it? It's as if they're saying, I know better than you, but here's the thing, everyone's journey is unique. What works for one person may not work for another, and that's perfectly okay. We must remember that we are the experts of our own lives. Unsolicited advice often comes from a place of good intentions. People want to help, they want to offer support and guidance based on their own experiences. However, it's essential to recognize that while their intentions may be pure, the delivery can sometimes feel like an imposition. We all crave validation and understanding, and when someone offers advice without being asked, it can make us feel as though our own feelings and decisions are being undermined. So how do we navigate this delicate landscape? First, we must cultivate the courage to assert our boundaries. It's perfectly acceptable to let someone know when their advice isn't welcome. You might say something like, "I really appreciate your concern, but I'm looking to figure this out on my own right now. Setting boundaries is not only empowering for you, but it also gives others clarity about your needs." Additionally, let's take a moment to practice active listening. When someone does share unsolicited advice, try to hear them out without immediately shutting down or getting defensive. You might gain a nugget of wisdom even if it's not the solution you were looking for. Sometimes just acknowledging their input can diffuse the situation. Now let's flip the script and consider our own roles. How often do we find ourselves giving unsolicited advice to others? It's easy to slip into that mode, especially when we feel we have valuable experiences to share. But it's essential to recognize that advice is most effective when it's solicited. Instead of jumping in with suggestions, ask open-ended questions that encourage others to share their thoughts and feelings. This approach fosters dialogue and empowers them to express what they truly need. When we practice empathy and active listening, we create space for deeper connections. Sometimes what someone really needs isn't advice, but simply someone to listen, to feel heard and understood. Let's remember that we can be a source of support without feeling the need to solve every problem. As we navigate these conversations, let's also be mindful of our own motivations. Why are we inclined to give advice? Is it to feel needed, to assert our knowledge, or is it genuinely to help? By examining our intentions, we can approach our interactions with more mindfulness and compassion. And let's not forget about the power of personal stories. Sharing your experiences can be incredibly valuable, but be sure to frame it in a way that encourages choice rather than dictating action. Instead of saying, "You should do this," you might say, "I once faced a similar situation, and here's what I did." This allows the other person to see that there are multiple paths to take, and it empowers them to choose what resonates most with their journey. As we explore this topic further, let's talk about the power of self-awareness. The more we understand ourselves, the better we can navigate the advice we receive and give. Reflect on your own experiences. What advice have you received that truly made a difference? What unsolicited advice did you dismiss? By tuning into your own responses, you'll gain insight into how to better navigate these interactions in the future. When faced with unsolicited advice, it can also be helpful to practice gratitude. Instead of focusing on the frustration of receiving advice you didn't ask for, shift your perspective to appreciate that someone cared enough to share their thoughts. Acknowledging their concern can help reframe your feelings and open the door to constructive conversation. And as we move forward, let's embrace the idea of collective wisdom. While each person's journey is unique, we can learn from one another's experiences when the sharing feels mutual. It's about building a community where we can exchange insights and support without judgment. As you leave here today, I encourage you to hold on to this truth: your journey is yours alone. You have the power to choose what resonates with you and what doesn't. Embrace your autonomy, trust your instincts, and remember that your voice is valid. So the next time you encounter unsolicited advice, take a deep breath. Acknowledge the intent behind it, but don't feel obligated to take it on. Your journey deserves to be navigated on your own terms. When we cultivate understanding, respect, and openness in our conversations, we create a world where everyone's voice is honored and valued. Let's embrace the beauty of our individual paths and create spaces where we can uplift one another without judgment or unsolicited advice. Your journey is waiting. Step into it with confidence and grace. Mediocrity. Let's take a moment to talk about mediocrity, that insidious comfort zone where so many of us find ourselves lingering. Mediocrity can feel safe, predictable, and familiar, but let's be real, it's also a thief. It steals our dreams, our potential, and our joy. It whispers in our ears, convincing us that it's okay to settle for less than we deserve. But I'm here to tell you, you are meant for so much more. Mediocrity often creeps in when we become comfortable with the status quo. It's when we stop striving for excellence and let ourselves fall into a routine that lacks passion and purpose. You know what I mean? Waking up, going through the motions, and just existing instead of truly living. But let's remember that each of us has been gifted with unique talents and abilities. You owe it to yourself to pursue your passions and elevate your life beyond the ordinary. So what keeps us stuck in this cycle of mediocrity? Fear, my friends. Fear plays a huge role. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, and even the fear of success can paralyze us. We become afraid to take risks, afraid to step outside of our comfort zones, and in doing so, we deny ourselves the opportunity to truly thrive. It's so easy to fall into the trap of playing it safe, but that's not where growth happens. Let's think about the people in our lives who inspire us, those who dare to push boundaries and strive for greatness. They didn't achieve their success by staying in their comfort zones. They faced their fears, took risks, and embraced the unknown. We must ask ourselves, are we willing to take those same bold steps? Are we ready to break free from the mediocrity that holds us back? To escape mediocrity, we must cultivate a growth mindset. This means viewing challenges as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles to overcome. Every setback is a chance to learn, every failure a stepping stone on the path to success. When we adopt this mindset, we begin to see the world through a different lens. We become more open to trying new things, embracing change, and stepping out of our comfort zones. Another essential aspect of breaking free from mediocrity is surrounding ourselves with inspiring individuals. Look around you. Who are the people that lift you up and challenge you to be better? Seek out those who are unapologetically pursuing their passions, who refuse to settle for anything less than extraordinary. Their energy and enthusiasm can ignite your own aspirations and propel you forward. Let's also take a moment to examine our habits. What daily rituals or practices are you engaging in? Are they fueling your dreams, or are they simply filling your time? When you prioritize activities that nurture your passions, be it reading, writing, or creating, you're actively investing in your growth. Make a commitment to yourself to spend time doing what lights you up. Now, let's talk about passion. When was the last time you felt truly excited about something? That spark, that joy is a powerful force that can pull you out of mediocrity. Don't ignore it, embrace it. Whether it's a hobby, a career, or a cause you care about, follow that passion with everything you have. Let it guide you to new experiences, new opportunities, and a life that feels vibrant and fulfilling. And let's not forget the power of gratitude. When we cultivate an attitude of gratitude, we shift our focus from what we lack to what we have. This shift can be transformative. It opens our hearts to possibilities we might have overlooked and reminds us to appreciate the journey, even when it's messy. As we embark on this journey away from mediocrity, it's crucial to set intentions. What do you want to achieve? What does success look like for you? Take a moment to visualize your goals and aspirations. Write them down. Speak them into existence. When you have clarity about what you want, you can start to align your actions with your vision. And when you feel the pull of mediocrity trying to drag you back in, remember this: you have the power to redefine your narrative. You get to write your own story. Don't let the fear of what others might think or the comfort of familiarity dictate your path. Instead, embrace the uncertainty that comes with pursuing greatness. When you take that leap of faith, you'll discover a world filled with possibility and abundance of experiences waiting just for you. So dare to dream big. Allow yourself to imagine the life you truly desire. Don't let fear or doubt dictate the boundaries of your potential. It's time to celebrate the fact that you are more than capable of achieving greatness. Each step you take toward your goals, no matter how small, is a step away from mediocrity and toward a life that feels rich, fulfilling, and meaningful. As we wrap up this discussion on mediocrity, I want you to hold on to this truth: you are destined for greatness. You have everything you need within you to rise above the ordinary and create an extraordinary life. So as you leave here today, remember to embrace the discomfort that comes with growth. Embrace the risks, the challenges, and the unknowns. Allow your dreams to fuel your journey, and do not settle for anything less than the life you deserve. You have the power to break free from mediocrity and step into your greatness. Now is the time to take that leap. As we conclude this exploration of mediocrity, I want you to remember that the journey toward greatness is not always easy. It requires courage, determination, and an unwavering belief in yourself. It's about embracing the messiness of life, learning from every experience, and daring to pursue the extraordinary. You have the power to shape your own destiny. The world needs your unique voice, your gifts, and your light. Don't let mediocrity hold you back from shining brightly. Each day is a new opportunity to break free from the ordinary, to rise above the status quo, and to live a life filled with passion, purpose, and authenticity. So I encourage you to take a deep breath and step boldly into your dreams. Challenge yourself to live outside your comfort zone. Surround yourself with inspiration, practice gratitude, and embrace the beauty of your own journey. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. And as you walk this path, know that you are not alone. We are all in this together, striving for greatness, supporting one another, and lifting each other up. Thank you for being here today and for embracing your potential. Now go out into the world and show everyone just how magnificent you truly are. You are destined for greatness. Now let it shine.